Good morning, everyone. So today I am working with the Wisdom of the Shadow Oracle and the Lubanko Tarot. So, what do I want to do here? Well, I pulled these two cards from the Wisdom of the Shadow Oracle, and I wanted to read a little bit from the guidebook and then show a spread that I created coming out of these two cards. So, this does say frustration, and this says reflection. So let me read a little bit from the guidebook on frustration. So when we talk about frustration, it's about experiencing our emotions as valid as they are. We are invited to lean in rather than push harder or push them down. Frustration can arise from the patterns we've created within our body or nervous system. How can we remedy that and repattern our responses to frustration when it rises up? Gently notice any desire for things to be different than they are. Consider asking yourselves, why do I get frustrated? Not from a place of self-blame, but with curiosity for deeper understanding. What can you learn from that? And I thought that that was really important because I am someone that is prone to frustration, especially when things don't go the way that I imagined or things don't go the way that I planned. And it's a good exercise for me to lean into that feeling not from a place of self blame, but actually from curiosity, which is where reflection comes in. So, reading from the guidebook again, this is a call to self reflect. Every single person we see and everything we see is an invitation to look closely within ourselves. Every interaction is a window or mirror through which we can learn. We cannot control anyone or anything outside of us. The work is only within ourselves. When we have an opinion about someone, do we begin creating judgments about them or comparing ourselves as better or worse? How can we shift our perceptions inward and learn more about ourselves and what we value? When we get frustrated with someone, what does that tell us about what standards or expectations we are holding for others or even ourselves? Think of how you are looking to others rather than looking inward. This is very apt. I'm going through a situation where I am frustrated with the situation, I'm frustrated with another person, and I'm frustrated with myself. So that's actually the spread that I created. How to deal with frustration around the situation, the other person, and myself. And I will move these cards out of the way for now. I have pulled from the tarot, and I'm not somebody that likes to shuffle on camera, so I did all of that before I started filming, and I pulled out these cards and I sort of meditated on them, and then I bring it into this space. So first question is, what is it about the situation that I am frustrated by? The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Now this is interesting. I had initially used another deck to pull for this spread, and the Wheel of Fortune came out. So I was like, okay, we can't ignore that. It came out in upright, but now it's in reverse. So it's like emphasizing, look at this. This is what frustrates you about the situation. And what frustrates me about the situation is that I feel like what I want is never going to happen, or it's never the right time for it to happen. And I feel like I'm in this cycle of getting my hopes up and then getting them dashed. And I'm just kind of upset that like timing is never right for me. So, how can I deal with that frustration? How can I address that frustration? So, we do have the King of Cups. And the King of Cups, it reminds me of someone who can read their emotions objectively, can be compassionate with their emotions, but can also be logical. And the question that comes to mind for me that my therapist always asks me is it fact or is it feeling? Is it a fact that the timing is never right for what I want, or is it something that I feel? How do I know that it's a fact? What is the evidence towards that? What if the timing was just right and the outcome was what was meant to happen? So when I am feeling like it's never going to happen, timing sucks, I'm never going to get what I want, to lean into my King of Cups energy, which is more about, okay, is this fact? Is this just how you're feeling right now? More often than not, it's how I'm feeling right now. So, this is how I address my frustration around the situation. And then we have my frustration with the other person. The 10 of Wands. How I see this, my frustration with the situation with the other person is that I see the situation as something really good and healthy, and they see the situation as something to run away from. And it does really frustrate me because I feel like I'm giving of myself towards this situation and contributing all these good things. And that's not how they see it. They see it as panic mode, they see it as fear, they see it as a burden. The things that I consider that are really good that I'm offering, they see it as additional responsibility and additional burden. And I'm so frustrated because I want to be like, no, that's not what it is. But that is what it is to them. So my frustration is we don't see eye to eye. And not just that, we see like the opposite. So, how do I deal with my frustration with this person? Page of Pentacles. It's not for me to deal with their viewpoints or their beliefs. It's not my role. And it's not even for me to judge whether their viewpoints or their beliefs are wrong because they don't align with mine. We are all on a journey. And certainly, if I can take the perspective that this person is also on a learning journey, the same way that I am on a learning journey, it helps me to be empathetic. It helps me to be sympathetic. It helps me to offer grace and compassion and withhold judgment, because there is a lot of me judging them. And I don't think that that is fair, nor do I think that that is actually accurate. Like, my view is not 100% accurate. I only see it from my perspective. So if I take the viewpoint that everybody's learning, including myself, it gives me a lot of grace for the situation in general, but especially for the person and for myself. And then we move on to, what am I frustrated with myself about? Or why am I frustrated with myself? Or how am I frustrating me? And I'll be honest, there was a lot. There's a lot here. Like, it just is what it is. But I pulled first the King of Swords. And then I also pulled the, Ace of Wands. So, what frustrates me about myself? That none of this is making sense to me. That I can't logic my way out of a situation. I can't enforce my logic on someone else. That I feel that there was an opportunity again that I, lack of a better word, term, fucked up, and like, there's a lot of these going into my thoughts and circling around them and trying to be like, okay, if I had done things differently, would things have turned out differently? If I had been more patient, would things have turned out differently? If I had approached this with more caution, would things have turned out differently? And there is that frustration with me that I am always looking at myself and seeing, how can I fix these things? So, how can I address the frustration I have with myself that I am not omnipotent and I cannot control everything that I want to control? In response to the King of Swords, we have the Knight of Pentacles. It's being patient with myself. It's taking an approach of compassion with myself. It's saying, okay, you are just a human being. You can't foresee the future, and you can't always see the signs. And you just have to lean into this journey one step at a time and take it slow. Try not to look too much into the future. Try not to predict the future. Try not to curate all your actions and all your words and all your approaches because of an outcome that you desire. Just be on the journey and learn along the way. And the Knight of Pentacles for me is one of the most compassionate knights. And a lot of self-awareness, because he knows where his limitations are. He knows when he's overwhelmed. He knows when he has no capacity. So he will take things at his pace. And in response to this card, the Ace of Wands, I pulled the Six of Swords. And what comes to mind for me here is opposite action. The act of opposite action, which is, I think, a model of dialectic behavioral therapy, where basically what you do is you acknowledge what you would want to do. Like, I want to fix things. I want to think about this situation till I can't sleep. Like, I want to think about it. I want to go through plan A to Z. What is the opposite action of that? To not think about it, to distract myself, to do something else. To, whenever my mind comes to that, to tell my mind, this is part of my OCD. I am going to not do this for the next hour. And then when the hour is up, okay, do I need to revisit this? Part of my OCD. I'm not going to do this for the next hour. And it is behaving, and it goes so well with the Knight of Pentacles because it is behaving in a way until you believe it. Because I can't control how I think right now, how I feel right now. I can control how I act. And my body can start, and my brain and my heart can follow. And then, it's just a mess right now. And then I like to pull cards just as an affirmation or a message of hope to close out the reading. So we have the Page of Wands, we have the Three of Wands, and we have the Justice card. Page of Wands. There is more that I need to learn. There is more excitement in my future. This is not just an ending. This is also a beginning. Three of Wands energy, a lot of exploration. This is not going to be the last exciting thing that happens to me. I haven't lost, a part of myself to the situation. And then the Justice. With regards to what I want out of life, this is a card that assures me that, that the universe, God, whatever, sees that. And that eventually things will line up when it's right. That's how I'm reading this. Just a short spread on frustration and reflection. So if you're feeling frustrated with a situation, chances are you'll be feeling frustrated with the situation itself, with anyone involved with the situation, and with yourself. So maybe explore those avenues, those areas. And if you use this spread, let me know how it goes. As always, thank you for being here. Take care. Bye.